Lana Rhoades has recently got herself into some trouble. Now, I've talked about a number of crypto scams, but I haven't really talked too much about NFTs. So, pretty much everybody knows who or what NFTs are. They've been getting pushed by a lot of celebrities. They're basically the monkey that you see. I'm not going to get into a full technical explanation, but Lana Rhoades had decided that she was going to make her own. These were JPEGs, and she ended up coming out and saying that she was going to do everything that she could to make them profitable. She had like a plan with like 6 phases, and one of the phases was you have virtual land bought for you with these JPEGs that you will buy. So it all seemed fine and dandy until about a week ago, Lana Rhoades decided that she was receiving negative feedback from her community in her Discord, so she decided to completely just take off, and she ended up extracting 1.5 million worth of Ethereum from this project. Now, of course, the project tanked after this, and her reasoning for this was, get this, people were being too mean to her. Okay? Now, when you run a business, you can't, like, get negative reviews and be like, oh, okay, I'll just take the investors' money. Now, imagine if GameStop, right? GameStop isn't too well liked currently. Imagine if they just said, oh, okay, well, we'll just take off with the money. That's not okay, right? Well, it turns out if you go to the Discord, then you can see that people weren't even being that mean to her. In fact, the only time the Discord turned negative was after she pulled out of 1.5 billion and essentially rug pulled these people. And someone said that it's hard to be respectful when you cost people so much money. And someone replied with, well, you can't, doesn't mean you can't be respectful. She stole from a bunch of people, essentially, and she wasted a bunch of people's money. And it brings me to another point. There was a guy who apparently didn't have any job and put 4,000 into these Lana Rhoades JPEGs. Now, of course, it sucks that this guy got scammed, but why would you let this happen to yourself? At what point do you sit there and think, oh, it's a good idea for me to spend over 66% of the money that I have left, and I had no income, I'm going to spend it on Lana Rhoades JPEGs. And what's even crazier is there was a live stream, right, that was announcing it, this guy talking about it, and he's in a dark room with his hoodie up on a live stream, right? And people were like, oh, this is something I should put my money into. This is something I should deal with. Why? Why would you think? There's just some people out there, and obviously, it's cliche to see, like, realizing how stupid people are, George Carlin, all that. But it gets worse, right? So, CoffeeZilla puts out a video talking about all this stuff, and Lana Rhoades ends up subtweeting him saying that YouTubers are sickos and they'll say anything for views pretty much. And of course she got called out for this because I saw an Optimus video and he raised a good point. If they're sickos for doing this, what does that make you? And really, what does that make you? An even worse sicko from stealing from people? Now, obviously these people aren't the brightest people, but honestly, that makes it worse. Why are you stealing from people who pretty much aren't thinking right and are spending dang near their last dollar on you? Why are you scamming those people, right? And then she decided to come out and say, oh, well, the situation in Ukraine is bad and people are worried about me stealing. Well, two things can be true. People can say that what you did was wrong, and also be like, hey, what's going on in Ukraine is wrong. That's simple. I just did it. Okay? Maybe people would like to focus on something else. Maybe the people who've lost thousands of dollars, because obviously a lot of money was put into this. If she could get $1.5 million out of this, she just this. She said that diapers were expensive when, for some reason, just out of the blue, right? That she was quoting somebody. If I can find it, I'll put it in the video, but it's probably down now. But she's worth $24 million. She did not need to do this. You can't, just because you're receiving negativity, you can't just take stuff down. That's not how things work. And now a bunch of people are suffering and are going to continue to suffer because of your actions. And the fact that you can just be so glib about it and try to, is glib the right word? Doesn't matter. And just try to deflect blame from yourself. It's just so insane to me. Like, the level of bad person you have to be to pull something like this and just be like, oh, well, there's worse stuff going on in the world. It's just appalling and surprising to me. But that about wraps it up for me. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow.